Hello, Stewart89. Well, Simu Liu is in a little bit of trouble. There was already problems with China and Shang-Chi. They hadn't established when it was going to screen, and there was some conjecture as to whether it would screen because China doesn't actually show every American film, and apparently they're very picky, and apparently they're getting more picky, and they're actually preferring to focus on their own cinema now rather than sort of just importing American films. So it looked like Shang-Chi wasn't going to happen, and it really looks like it's not going to happen now because some quotes that Simu made a few years ago when he was talking about his family and why they immigrated from China to Canada. And he called it a third world country, and he said people were starving and they basically were escaping poverty. Well, China didn't like that. So that might be the end of Shang-Chi's chance of screening in China, and it didn't look like it was going to happen anyway. So this is going to be a huge blow to the box office, and Disney didn't exactly make this film to be ignored by the Chinese audience. They were making this film not just for all the Asian people in America and the Western societies. They wanted China to embrace it as well. They wanted that China money because China is a big market, but they also know that they can sustain their own films. So they're starting to focus more on the films they want to make rather than America trying to guess what they want and taking properties that worked just fine as American culturally and making them very much to cater to the Chinese audience, like the Transformers films, which went absolutely down the toilet when it was all about Dinobots and I'm not even going to go into that. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, they kind of failed with Mulan. They kind of failed with what was the other film that was something else that was catering specifically to the Chinese market. God, what was that? Was it only Mulan? Mulan didn't go over very well, and particularly a lot of the politics, and that's a whole nother video, so I'm not even going to get into that. But yeah, so doesn't look like it's going to screen. Looks like they're going to hold what he said against him, and he's probably regretting those comments, but they weren't attacking China. He was just talking about his family and their experience and what they went through and what he was told, because obviously he was a child, he didn't really understand what was happening. And it does seem a little bit petty, a little bit vindictive for them to be like this, but they're like this with a lot of things. One of the directors of one of the other films, which is, God, was it someone else directed a Hollywood film that they were hoping to get a big audience in China, and they're having problems with it because the director made some comments about China in it. And these ones from Simu Liu, these are from years ago when he was working on Kim's Convenience and just talking about his family. It's like they weren't anything to do with today or the current politics or anything, but they're still probably going to hold him against him. We'll see what happens, but I sort of thought that was interesting because I was wondering, will it screen? There was a lot of speculation, and now it's sort of like done. I don't think even apologising in Mandarin is going to help, which is what John Cena had to do after he made some comments, which I didn't even understand why they're offensive because I don't know the culture and the politics well enough. But apparently Fast 9 didn't do as well because of that, and yeah, it's the whole China market is very difficult at the moment, whereas they thought it was going to be easy. Hollywood thought they could just, get a part of that and it'd be fine, but it's not really working out that way. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. There's not much else to say about it, just he put his foot in his mouth. Like most people, he said stuff not knowing how it was going to be relevant in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's the nature of the internet. The internet never forgets. Yeah, I'm really hoping somehow it still gets into China because they need the box office. It's done well in America, but the international box office has stalled. And even Australia, they didn't get the Sydney or Melbourne market. They got the other states that are actually open, but they didn't get it. So it's not going to do well internationally. Domestically, it's probably going to be fine, but they need that budget, or they're not going to make a sequel. They're not going to make another film, and this film shouldn't be the only one. Much like Black Panther, shouldn't be the only one, but they had the death of the actor. Now they just have the death of the box office probably, or the foreign box office. I don't know. I'm still talking. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, subscribe. Bye.